Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode here on the Top 10 Tuesday series. Yeah, this is going to be episode 72. And for today, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 personal favorites witch films or witchcraft films of all time. Yeah, when I looked at the predetermined list of, of episodes, I figured that this week, week 72 was going to be an easy one with witches and witchcraft. I was like, okay, started compiling the list, and man, I had a lot of problems with this one. I kept taking things off because I was like, oh, I thought of another one, and then I did it like 3 or 4 times. I just said, fuck it, I have to go with the list here. This is driving me crazy. But ultimately what I'm saying is there's actually a lot more witch films out there, and a lot of good ones too, than I think a lot of people actually even realize. Of course, this one sitting right in front of me here, The Witch. Unfortunately, I have actually never seen this film because I haven't had a chance to. It never came to my small town or my city. And yeah, I just haven't had a chance to see it. So heard really good things. Really looking forward to checking it out. But without further ado, let's get right into this. In at number 10 is, of course, Warlock. I believe this came out in, was it 1989? I should probably know this. I did cover the whole trilogy on my podcast. Yeah, Julian Sands as the Warlock. I really enjoyed this film. I think this movie is actually really enjoyable. It's a good one. It's pretty much my bona fide favorite one in the trilogy. The second one's okay, and the third one is just a heaping pile of shit. It's just terrible. But this one right here, Julian Sands' character, he's about to receive some death. In the beginning of this film, he gets saved and he gets basically sprung forward into the present day. I think it's taking place in Boston, 1691. That's what it is. And basically what it is, he's got 2 pieces of the devil. He says right here, reuniting the 3 portions of the Devil's Book. So he's basically got 2 portions of it, and he needs to find the 3rd one in modern times to wreak havoc on the world, to basically reveal the secret name of God. That's how they've got written on here. This is a pretty interesting film. I like the effects. I like the acting. I think Julian Sands does a great job in this film as the Warlock. It's a pretty entertaining film. There's a lot of cool things that are going on in this one, and good stuff. I highly recommend Warlock. At least if you're going to watch one of the 3, check this one out. Good stuff. In at number 10. In at number 9 is a film from, I want to say, I think it's like 67, 68 or something like that. And it's called The Witchmaker. This was released by Code Red, our favorite company. Yeah, this one right here is basically about a professor of, I want to say like paranormal studies. I think that's what it is. Probably says on the back. Paranormal studies, yeah. And he leads his students into like this jungle area type deal. Anyways, he wants to investigate these murders that have happened in there. One of his students, fortunately enough for him, has kind of psychic powers, and she has, pretty much decided that, it's responsible. Like she figures that this area is responsible for all these missing people and things like that. So they kind of dig deeper into it. And unfortunately for them, they come across this leader of this satanic cult type deal. And he's been actually using the blood of the missing people, of the missing women, he's been drinking their blood, and it basically gives him more powers so he can like raise the dead and things like that. So there's a whole pile of crazy shit happening in this one. It's very grimy and gritty. The acting is not the greatest, but this movie is just awesome. It's got so much going on in it. It's pretty fun stuff. But I think I did a full-length review of this on their channel on Body Bag. So if you want to check that out, check out that. I had no idea what week it was, but Witchmaker, cool film. Give it a shot. In at number 9. In at number 8 is, of course, Witchcraft. And this one right here is from the early 60s. I want to say it came out in 1964. Yeah. And of course it's got Lon Chaney Jr. in it. He basically plays this guy's like a modern day warlock kind of thing. Anyways, he conjures up his evil ancestors who were like done wrong. They were burned at the stake and things like that to get some revenge on people and things like that. It's a really good film, really good kind of gothic witchcraftian type film. Lon Chaney Jr. does a great job in this one. I think he's fantastic, but I love the performances, man. I like the set pieces used in this one. It's got that just all-time great gothic feel and great atmosphere, very creepy vibe to it. Really good stuff. But check out Witchcraft from '64. That's a really fun one. And that was in at number 8. Number 7 is one from 1988 called Spellbinder. Now, this is a film that I really wanted to do when I did my 52 Horrific Weeks 1988 series. But it was, at the time, it was only a burn on demand. And I kept heeing and hawing about it. I was going to pick it up, but it was like $20. And I was like, ah, fuck it. I'll just leave it off the list. It might not come up on the randomizer. Anyways, lo and behold, a couple years later, it gets a Blu-ray release. Yeah, so glad I held off. But anyways, this one right here is starring, of course, Kelly Preston, John Travolta's wife. And I believe when this one was getting released, it had a lot of Kelly Preston and John Travolta. I think that they tried to stop this movie from being released because, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure exactly why, but I'm thinking it's due to the fact that Kelly Preston does show her boobs in this film. And I think that they just didn't want it to get released or something like that at the time. I'm not 100% sure. But basically, it's about this girl right here, Kelly Preston. She gets saved from her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's beating her down in like this public area, and Timothy Daly's character saves her. Anyways, he ends up falling in love with her, and and then he finds out that she has actually kind of escaped a coven of witches, and she's on the run from them. So things kind of get a little hairy and stuff like that. And really fun film, man. Right from start to finish, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's got this really cool vibe to it. It's got a really interesting vibe. Love the characters. I love the just what's going on. It's an interesting film. It's really, really interesting. It's got a fantastic ending. Love the ending to this movie. I think it's great. Really kind of underrated flick here. I think Spellbinder really needs to be checked out. So check out Spellbinder. Good stuff. And that was number 7. Number 6 is another one from the early 60s called Burn, Witch Burn from 1962. And it is about a professor who, everything is really going well for this professor and things like that. He's kind of, he's kind of a skeptic when it comes to like witchcraft and all that type of things and stuff like that. He gets his general idea that his wife might be into this stuff, but he's very skeptical. He's like, no, I just can't be doing that and stuff. Anyways, and it turns out that maybe, his success has something to do with her witchcraft and all those type of things. And so anyways, he freaks out one day, and to prove to her that that he's skeptical, he doesn't believe in any of this stuff, he burns all of her witchcraft stuff. And then of course he goes on a downward spiral, and then crazy shit starts happening and just goes out of control. So Burn, Witch Burn is a really interesting flick, man. I love the characters in this one, man. The whole like third act in this is fantastic. Really, really great film. Early 60s, so you know what you're gonna get. Great acting. Some of the acting is a little overdone at times, but I don't know, man. I really enjoyed this film. I thought the whole idea of it was just fantastic. I love just great film. Burn, Witch Burn. Check it out. Don't want to give too much away of it. So that was number 6. Number 5 is a film that, of course, it's very, very hit and miss with a lot of people. You either love it or you hate it. It seems to be one of those type of films. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with it defending it, but The Lords of Salem, directed by, of course, Rob Zombie. I love this film, man. I think it's great. It kind of hits home with me because I did radio for about 8 or 9 years. And I just like the whole aspect of, her character, receiving this kind of really weird record and playing it on the radio, and it plays this crazy tunes, and then, all this crazy shit starts happening, kind of gets conjured up, all this kind of witchcrafty shit. Short and long of the story anyways. But yeah, the one thing I love about this film is just the imagery. I know a lot of people kind of critique it and they hate on, the imagery, and they say, it's all taken from, some films like The Shining and things like that. Yeah, you know what? But Rob Zombie also doesn't deny that a lot of the scenes are homage scenes to great films like that. Rob Zombie is a fanboy. He admits it. He's a fan who makes films, and he does pay a lot of respect to, the forefathers for him in his films, and it shows in Lords of Salem, and I think he did a great job. Now, this one is pretty much all that I was expecting from Rob Zombie, to have great imagery, really weird storyline, and the third act in this film is just fucking bananas. This is crazy. I love the fact that I got to see, big fake dildos and weird shit going on and stuff, so it's a really fun film, and I think Sherry Moon did a great job in the leading role, and a lot of people, that was another thing, is like, oh, she sucks so bad, blah, 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 but to each their own. I think it's good, so. And I don't hate on people that don't like Lords of Salem. It is what it is. If you don't like it, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Lords of Salem in at number 5. In at number 4 is probably the strangest film on this list, and that's called Mystics in Bali. This is a Indonesian film from 1981. Now, I wish I had seen this or had this film when I did my 81 series, my 52 horrific weeks in 1981 series. This would have been a fun one to review, but I actually ended up reviewing this on my podcast. But yeah, it's a really strange film about this American. I want to say she goes to Indonesia, to Asian country, to do some research and stuff like that. Anyway, she comes across this like really kind of strange, evil witch that's part of the Lilac tribe, cult of Lilac. Anyway, the American decides that she is going to become like her protege and things like that. But of course, this evil witch has different plans for her, and she turns her into this flying vampire. And as you can see, the flying vampire consists of a head and your internal organs hanging from your neck, like your lungs and your heart and your guts. And that's how it flies around. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a really, really strange film. It's definitely something you have to see. It's one of the weirdest films I think I've ever seen. It's so much fun. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about it, but definitely give this one a shot from Autumn Macabre. You know it's going to be so much fun, but yeah. Mystics in Bali, awesome film. Really, really fun stuff. In at number 4, in at number 3 is from 1922, Haxan, Witchcraft Through the Ages, the documentary about witchcraft, and it goes through basically the history. It's almost like it's when you're watching this or reading this, because it is a silent film, of course. It almost feels like a history lesson at times. It's fictional and nonfiction, and they throw in things like that and stuff. But this one has a really interesting kind of vibe to it, and it's one of these films that you really just have to see for yourself to kind of experience. It's really hard to talk about because it is silent. There's a lot of really cool imagery and pictures and things that are going on, and a lot of really cool explanations and for witchcraft, and it's just a phenomenal documentary. And it's nothing like it's not like your typical documentary because it is silent, so you have to read it all, but it's just got this really amazing kind of like up-tempo symphonic type score or the music to it and stuff. It's like symphony, and it's just great. It's just a fantastic watch. I absolutely love this. It does have 2 cuts on this Criterion edition, the original 104-minute cut, and then they got the 68 re-cut, which is like 76 minutes, which I have actually never watched, so I should check that out sometime. But Haxan, if you've been kind of heen and hawing about this one, definitely give it a shot. It's fantastic. Really, really good stuff. So yeah, Haxan. Awesome stuff. In at number 3. In at number 2 is another film from the 1960s, and I think it is from 1961. I should know these things, man. I love these films. I'm just having one of those days I can't remember anything. But of course, Mario Bava's Black Sunday. Recently reviewed this one on the podcast on the Mario Bava director spotlight on the Italian month a couple months back. So go and check those out. But I love Black Sunday so much. It's just such a phenomenal film. Barbara Steele just kills this role. Basically, beginning of the film, they show her getting, burned and killed because she's a witch, and jumps to like the present day, and she gets resurrected by the blood of these guys that find her resting place, and it kind of resurrects her, and then carnage ensues after that. Just a really, really fantastic, gothy, atmospheric, just amazing film. I absolutely love this movie. For me, it's a 10 out of 10. I think this movie is just beautiful on all levels. It's just got so much cool imagery. I love the castles, just all the set pieces. Mario Bava is just the master. It's just phenomenal to me. I love everything about this. I couldn't say enough good things about Black Sunday. So if you've never seen Black Sunday, give this a shot. It's fantastic. Yeah. So, Black Sunday number 2. In at number 1, I am going with this one. I was kind of I don't know why I keep saying heen and hine. Going back and forth on these 2 films today, and I ultimately put this one at number 1 because, I don't know, I just did. And that is Dario Argento's Suspiria. A film that, again, I find a lot of people are either they love it or they dislike it. They just kind of say it's more substance over, whatever. But I think this movie is absolutely amazing. A lot of people kind of criticize this film for, you know, not having like the best storyline and stuff. But the thing is, you just have to pay attention to it. It is all there. It really is there. It is simple, but, you know, part of the Three Mothers trilogy. And I think it's just a fantastic, obviously beautiful film. Very influenced by Mario Bava, hence the lighting and the way it was shot and things like that. But of course, Argento put his own spin on it. But it's just an elegant and beautiful film. You know, there is a lot of style, you know, and I don't want to say myself there's more style than substance, but you know, you can't help notice that there is so much style in this film. It's beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. I think everybody should see this at least once. You know, give it a shot. I'd say everyone should see this film at least twice, because I think a lot of times I notice with people that watch this film, they get very confused by it, and I say, you know, watch it again. And you know, there is the odd person that say, yeah, it was so much better because I wasn't just paying attention to certain things, I was kind of, you know, watching the whole thing. But yeah, Suspiria, I could talk about the movie all day. I love it. So Suspiria into number 1. Do a quick little recap here. Number 10, Warlock. Number 9, Witchmaker. Number 8 is Witchcraft. Number 7, Spellbinder. Number 6, Burn Witch Burn. Number 5, Lords of Salem. Number 4, Mystics in Bali. Look at that. That's so awesome. Number 4, Haxan. Number 3, Black Sabbath. Or then number 2, I lost my count here. And of course, number 1, Suspiria. Yeah, fuck that count up. I don't know what I was doing. So anyways, that's going to do it for this week. Episode 72. Be back next week with episode 73. And I'm actually really excited for episode 73 because I think it's going to be some pretty interesting lists. So if you are a viewer out there that watches all the guys that I do this series with, I think next week's going to be pretty interesting if everyone does a video. So, but anyways, guys, that's going to do it. This video's gone way too long. Check you later. Peace out.